Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Living with Annietude. My gratitude alarm just went off, which was very fitting for the moment. I had a day and a half, which means I had just a day of being in fog, a day of not a good day at all. I can't even pinpoint what it was, but I feel like this. I have a live show every week about authenticity. This is what my show is about. This is the general theme of this show. It's authenticity, right? Not only do I have one of the most authentic guests that there is, but I will tell you this. If I am not honest with you about the days that I'm having, if I show up and I put on a happy face and I laugh and smile and act like everything's great, then I'm not being authentic. And I have to be, hi, Peter, how are you? Nice to see you. I have to be real. If I'm not real, I have nothing. And so I have to give you the real me. I have to tell you that it is tough being stuck sometimes. And I have a career based on helping people get unstuck. This is like part of what I do every day of my life. So I have an amazing guest tonight who is very special to me. She's not only a friend, but someone that I care about very much. And her name is Hallie Avolio. And I'm bringing her on right now. She is sassy. She is sexy. She is just everything there is. Everything good. Hi, Hallie.
Oh, I love you. I give you like a big hug.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, Zahari. Thank you for popping on and saying that. No, this is where I am. And I purposely didn't get on with you early to talk because I wanted to, hi, Brian, nice to see you. I wanted to make it like real. I wanted to make sure that you and I had this discussion that was really just live and like in real time, like we didn't talk about it before. So I am like very just in a stuck place right today. And I help people on a daily basis get unstuck. So it's really hard to show up and say that, like that I'm stuck, but I'm just in this like yucky space. And I want to talk to you about, hi, Mikey. She is magical. I'm magical.
You are magical. Oh,
hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Great to see you. Hi, Jeremy. Great to see you, JT. And like I thought of Hallie, I thought of every excuse in the book. I've never canceled a show, by the way, but I thought of every excuse. And then I have total guilt because it's you,
But
not that like
I would have called you on it and been like, we're not.
No, you're doing this. Like, and I'm like, I thought of and then I would kick myself, and I'm like, I can't do that. I can't, people are counting on me. And then I'm like, I need to just be okay. Hi, Jenny. How are you? Without like, with not being perfect and not being okay and not being happy-go-lucky every second. And I feel like it's a topic on this show that you and I can talk about because we both work with people all the time on staying real, true to yourself, staying positive, being strong, but also being okay, not being okay. So tell me what you do. My daughter, by the way, about 2 minutes ago was singing so loudly in the shower that I think our neighbors like were knocking on the door, and she was like singing, show me to the wall. She was singing happy birthday to the wall. So if you hear like craziness, I always say this is what's going on in my world.
It's real life. It's real life, man.
So Hallie, why is it so hard when you're in it to get unstuck?
Okay, I'm going to tell you why. First of all, you can't see it for yourself because we all put up our blinders when it's. And the other thing that I want to say to you, and I know you've heard this before, but I feel like you need to know it right now in this moment, is we teach the lessons we need to learn the most ourselves.
So true. And I'm like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm really good at helping people get unstuck. Like it's one of my gifts, right? So it's like, why can't I turn that lens inside right now? And I thought of every, it's like, and then one thing is it snowballs. One thing is, and then everything is bad, everything stinks.
So are you embodying it or are you here? Are you here? Or are you here?
I'm totally in my head.
That's why. Right? Because if we want to release, if we want to let go, if we want to get unstuck, we have to get out of here and we have to go into our heart. into our heart space and into our body and really sit with it in that super, super uncomfortable
place.
Super uncomfortable, like,
which I avoid at all costs.
My skin, I don't want to be here.
I avoid at all costs. I avoid getting that uncomfortable at all costs. And you know what's so crazy is the last thing I wanted to do was a show, because it's putting my public, you know, I'm in front of everyone. This is like a public space, but this is supposed to be a safe place, right? Like, this is my following, people that watch us, people that come here, people that hear my message week after week after week are there to hear real. So I had to keep reminding myself that, like, I just have to show up as me. I don't have to show up as anybody else.
Right. Because who else would you be?
Well, it's like, you know, I've spent years being someone else, years wearing a mask and trying to be someone that I wasn't, and trying to cover, and I'm finally authentically me. And this is cathartic to come live and, you know, it's on the YouTube books forever, you know, like, here I am, not maybe smiling, but it's kind of a, you know, a little bit of a farce, but I mean, it does make me happy to see you. It really does.
Well, but here's the thing, right? Like, this is real life. This is reality. I'm going to give you a little sneak preview. So anybody watching this now, and you, Annie, get to hear this right now. So my theme for tomorrow's Motivation Minute is harmony. And this is a word that has come up for me literally no less than half dozen times in the last week. And every time it comes back again, I'm like, there's a reason this word keeps coming up. And again, this conversation right now, it's coming up again because it is a very, very important reminder that we don't live in a state of balance, of equilibrium, of just living here. You know, life is chaotic for everybody at different levels, right? But when you can find the harmony, when you can find the ebb and the flow, when you can find the ways that you sometimes need to nurture yourself more and other times you need to nurture others more, right? When you can get into that space and just embody it and embrace it and understand that that is the flow of life, is this harmony space. Yeah, that's where the soul magic is.
And I've done so much talking and work around. Are you frozen? No, you're back. Hi, Jonathan. Great to see you. I've done so much. Hi, Brian. So much good, like, solid preaching and true work about being okay, just being okay. Like, just being here, just being okay. You know, like, we don't always have to be rah-rah and, you know, energetic and positive. And, you know, that is, I heard someone say to me the other day, Hallie, someone said about me that they thought, you know, I had it like all together.
All figured out,
like,
all together.
Yeah, all figured out. I wrote the book on having it all figured out. And I mean, I have some things figured out, but I'm doing it just like you guys are, you know, like, I'm just showing up every day, and all we have to really do, and I'm saying this, and it's very cathartic and healing for me right now, is I just have to show up. Like, I just have to show up, and it's okay not to be okay all the time. It's okay to just be like right here. It's okay to be down. It's okay to just be like where you are, like, meet yourself where you are. Right.
Absolutely. And that's what I talk when I talk about harmony, right? It's finding that harmonic value in that ebb and the flow, and understanding that just be where you are, just be present in your moment. Because here's the thing, is that with feelings, with emotions, they will pass through us in 90 seconds, right? But the reason that we hold on to them and we allow ourselves to get stuck is because we get stuck up in our heads and our ego, and we hold on to that 90 seconds of feeling like it's a lifeline that we have to hold on to, because we're attached to this state of being.
And now this is who I am. I'm angry, you know, I'm really, really upset and sad right now. So this is who I am. This encompasses me.
But just let it flow. Literally just let it flow. One of my favorite things, two favorite things. Number one, you know, I'm going to say this: dance, right? Because when you're feeling stuck in any way, shape, or form, you got to move your body.
Music helps me out of anything, and I always forget to do that too.
But like literally, it's like moving your body, like the music, because you hear it, you feel it, and then you just move your body, and you can move it in the weirdest way possible. It really makes no difference how you move your body.
But it actually moves you out of.
It moves you out of the stuck. The other thing that I love to do is go, and I know it's freezing where you are, but go and put your feet on the ground. And when you can put your feet,
earth?
Yeah, literally like on the earth, whether it's grass, pavement, doesn't really matter. Just
anyone who knows me, Hallie, really, really well knows I will never put my feet on grass.
I never. I don't like it either. But put on pavement.
Oh my God, I'm shaking thinking about it. Okay, but on the pavement, on the cement, I can do that, even if it's cold.
Just like, even if it's cold, just put your feet on the hard ground and just send that energy down into the earth.
Wow.
Let it just move through you and send it down. Transmute the energy from here. Like literally take a breath and feel the energy move through your body, through your feet into the ground, and know that Mother Earth can handle your energy that you need to release. And she will transmute it into something else, and it will get recycled, upcycled, all of it. But just release it and allow it to flow instead of allowing it to stay here and to stay stuck.
Stay stuck. And LT said, unstuck. Thank you, Annie. I'm totally understand. I'm in tears. I just have to show up as me. 100%, my friend.
Yes.
I'm saying it and I feel it and I know it, and I'm learning it and teaching it to myself tonight as well as everybody else. So Kelly said, love this, Hallie. Dancing and grounding outside are two of my favorite releases. You know, girls, and the last thing I want to do is, Jonathan said that music is therapeutic for him too.
Therapeutic.
Good to see you. Real is relatable. You're both and in turn impacting all of us. Thank you, Jennifer. I knew that this would be like really cathartic for me too. I knew that this is what I need to do, but it's so interesting. Do you find this too, that this happens to you? Like that you run from what you really need to be doing? Like I run from talking to people about this. I run from like getting it out. I run from all of the things I need to do. I need to write. I need to be grateful. I need to do all those things that I preach.
Do you remember the last time we were on a live? What did I tell you that I'm supposed to be doing every night? And I wasn't doing it, right?
Journaling.
And then you were like, I'm going to call you on that. You're going to journal tonight. What did you do? You texted me.
I texted you.
Yeah.
You're right.
You're like, woman, get on it. Do your journal.
Get on. And it's so important. And I know this. And then, you know, things snowball and you get in this place and it's almost like, well, no one else understands. I don't know if that happens to you, but I get very like, well, they don't get it.
No, totally. But here's the thing about that. So after we had that chat, I was like on my journaling every night, 7:30, my alarm would go off. I was writing in my journal. I was so good. And then, I don't know, life happens, shit happens, whatever. And I stopped. And then the other day I had this moment where I was like, I forgot to do my journaling for like a month. So I just like 2 days ago started doing it again at night. And I tell you, it's been so good, but it's hard for me. Like it's hard. And I teach my clients, journal, write down your gratitude, write down your appreciation, talk about how you're feeling in your body, all these things, these tools that I know get you unstuck. And yet I don't do it for myself. Right. So I need the reminder to come back to it. So I started doing it the other day. And I even said to myself in my journal, well, it's been a while since you've been here. Where'd you go?
And what's so interesting, Hallie, is you know it helps you. You know that that's an answer for you. You know that that's a coping mechanism or you know, a way to cope. And you know that it works because you see it. You feel the difference.
Oh yeah.
And you know, for me, working out is like that, like exercise. So when I exercise, and I've been like on this exercise kick. So that's another thing that was getting me stuck because I'm like, I've been exercising every day like a maniac. Why do I feel better? What's wrong with me? You know, like what is wrong with me? What's wrong with me?
You're human.
I'm human. Not
You're
doing.
Human.
And, you know, funny you bring up harmony because I'm a Libra, so that is like so much about balance and harmony, and I crave that in my life. The scales, the balance,
but that's such a farce, right? It just
right.
It doesn't exist. I mean, maybe in some circle it exists. I don't know. I have yet to meet anyone that really finds this like perfect balance, right? I think it's
like yogis. I mean, there's somebody that takes 20, maybe.
I don't know.
Or maybe you just get to a place where you're okay with the.
Well, that's what I think harmony is.
Yeah, you're getting okay. Well, like you just said with the ebb and flow.
Right. It's like the ebb and the flow and the cycle, and just understanding that that's how it is. And also, sometimes we're in a season of being stuck. And then just allowing yourself to be in that season and just having massive self-compassion and grace and just saying like, well, you know what? I'm just stuck right now, but it's okay. I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm observing it. I'm allowing it.
Allowing is very hard. Allow was my 2020 word. And now I'm wearing my 2021 word. Do you remember what it is?
No, I don't remember I don't know if you told me.
It's resilience.
Oh, yes,
and
I do remember.
I
want to get one of those.
My intent?
Yeah, I got to buy one.
I have to show you. I'll have to send you the site. It's an amazing site.
I think you did send it to me. A couple people sent it to me, so I just need to get one because my one is freedom for 2020.
Well, so let me tell you about freedom real quick. So freedom, when I first started looking into what core values are, like what that really means and how they can be applied and used in your life, I didn't even check off freedom. I was like, what does that even mean? Like, that doesn't apply to me. I'm trust and honesty. And then I spent all this time doing all this work on myself. And I realized that all of these core values, when you add them all together, they equal my freedom. Yes. So freedom is actually my number one core value.
Me too.
Isn't that crazy?
We're twinsies.
We're so twinsies. But like, it's unbelievable because it was one of the ones that I specifically remember blowing off. Like, I was like, what is that? Like, free? I'm free. Like, I'm free to say what I want and do what I want. But really, when it comes down to it, all of that together is Annie's freedom. Like, that's what I'm truly searching for. That's what I'm seeking. And that's what I'm working to be, is free.
Well, for me too. For me, it's like being authentic, being sassy AF, being like who you really are. It's that freedom to express yourself and to truly embody who you are at your core, right? So to me, that's what freedom's about. It's not like, and it's also the other piece that I want to mention is the freedom of choice, because we all have a choice every single moment and every single day, right? Of how we perceive, how we act, what we intend to do. And we have that freedom of choice and we can't take that for granted. So understanding that we have that choice, we have the opportunity, and we can sometimes choose to just like, I'm just okay with being stuck today. And that's the choice. And that's also freedom.
I'm okay with being so, every moment is a new moment in our life, a choice to start again. When the going gets tough, remember the tough gets going. It's a good point.
Yes.
It is a choice. And that was, about tonight with the podcast, I sort of made a choice. I was like, it's as bad as I want to run from this, and I want to put the covers over my head because that's exactly what I want to do, wanted to do. I have forced myself to, be reliable and fulfill my responsibility. But I find, and I think you're like this too. I think you're like this. Are you like really hard on yourself?
Yeah.
Like I'm exceptionally. Someone said to me the other day, somebody said, Annie, like, you're in the middle, you're surviving you're surviving. Like, everybody just stop for a second. Just like grasp this for a second. We are surviving a global pandemic. Like, can I just like go a little easier on myself? Like, maybe I'm not exactly where I want to be in all of the categories of my life. And I'm not exactly things aren't exactly in place where I want them. It's like, we're surviving something that, it's crazy what we're doing here every day, right? It's crazy. So like when you get stuck, I think you have to remind yourself too, that like right now in the space of the world that we're in, like we just got to get up and show up, like sometimes that's just enough.
Right. Absolutely. And also just, still having gratitude for ourselves, having compassion, having this understanding that we do the best we can. Like whoever set this bar, this perfectionism bar, this bar that you have to do all the things all the time. And trust me, I struggle with this big time, and less so than I used to. Mm-hmm. But it's like, we don't have to do everything right now. We don't have to be there for everybody right now, all the time, again and again and again. You have to like take a breath and realize that we're just human beings that are doing the best we can. And
Yep.
Sometimes we are like kicking ass and feeling so great and we are just on a roll and doing our thing. And other times we just need to nurture ourselves and slow down and be okay with the pause. It's seasons, right? It's cycles. And this is true for men and women. And it's really about understanding how can we honor all the phases of life and all the ways that we are and all the things that we do with just like massive, massive self-compassion.
I was just going to say there was like a blinking light that was going off that said we needed to talk about self-compassion, which I think is such a critical, fundamental piece of self-care.
Oh,
yet
absolutely.
It's so, hold on one sec. We have a couple of really nice comments. Brad, who's like one of my favorite people that comments and follows us. You both exemplify freedom of expression, intent, and more importantly, message. Thank you, Brad. I appreciate you very much. Jonathan said he can understand that. Very hard on myself as well. I struggle with handling compliments. Welcome to the club. I am like terrible at, I mean, the other day I was on a show with, was it Kelly and Mike? And I'm just blanking right now. We were talking about, Michelle and Mike, and we were talking about name 4 of your like best characteristics or 4 of your traits. And I had to write it in the comments. I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't say the words defined me. It was so like look, I'm turning red just talking about it. I don't know what that is about, but like, it's okay to like give yourself some kudos sometimes.
Not only is it okay, I highly encourage it. If you can't give yourself massive like love, self-love, high fives, sassy AF affirmations, then how can anybody else do it? Come on.
True. It's true. I don't know what that stems from. It's like a
self-worth, shame,
self-worth,
inner child.
Yeah, my little inner child is like, no, you're not that great.
But you are.
And I would tell a client, I would tell a friend or a family member how they need to practice some self-compassion and they need to take a look at who they really are and what they bring to the table, which is so key.
Okay, can I share something so fun with you? And I don't know if you've done this before, but if you haven't, I would love for you to do this. So not right this second. This is like an exercise for you to do later. I have to give a massive shout out to one of my dearest friends, Odessa, who by the way got me this top, and she is like my sparkle.
I'm in a sweatshirt tonight. Hallie showed up ready to go to the club. I mean, she is ready. That's my girl right there in her glitter and sequins.
So Odessa is like one of the most amazing women that I know in my life. I'm gonna tag her so she sees this later. And she talks about writing a love letter to yourself. Have you ever done this?
No. I've written a ton. I mean, all I do is journal, but I have not written a love letter to myself, which I think is which I've told people to do. It's critical. Right?
But it's beautiful when you can write a love letter to yourself, and as though you're talking to your best friend, to your lover, to somebody that you just feel so deeply, passionately in love with. And that person is now you, and you write yourself that letter. Talk about a game changer for self-love and self-compassion.
I got to tell you that I'm going to give myself some credit here. I'm going to toot my own horn for 1 second that if I was my lover, there's no one on earth I'd rather get a letter from, because one thing I can do is I can write how I feel. Like, I can write how I feel. So like, I really need to do that, because I've never done that. I've written letters to lovers, but not myself. Right. And I think that it would be a really awesome exercise.
It's really fun, and have fun with it. That's the other piece is like, the other ways to get unstuck. And I have to remind myself this all the time, because I don't know about you, but I've always been very serious. And that's been something that I feel like I was conditioned to be serious, because really I'm like so fun and I love to have fun and be silly and goofy. But I was like conditioned and raised to think that like to be taken seriously, you had to be serious. And so that's a story that I've had to rewrite for myself. But I very quickly fall back into that pattern and that behavior of being serious. So I'm having fun. I'm like my most authentic self. So that's another one of my core values, in addition to freedom, is fun. But have fun with it. Like, don't take it so seriously. We start racking our brains like, oh God, I don't know what to write. just have fun. Like if we can all lighten up a little bit, that also helps you get unstuck. Be silly, like make crazy faces, laugh out loud, have a cuddle puddle, right?
A cuddle puddle. Eve, she's talking about cuddle puddles. She's laughing.
I learned it from you, girl.
Yeah, that's it. And I've seen you, by the way, we've had a couple of good comments, but remind me to tell you what I've seen about you. I want to make a note of this, but
okay.
It might be an internalization component of self-visualization. Look at who you are and how far you've come. Remember, you matter, you're valued, and you're worthwhile. Talk about somebody that can write. This man has written me some really, really powerful things. He can write. Maybe he needs to write me a letter.
No, you write the letter.
Jonathan said maybe a product of home environment. I know I need to write it. Environment growing up. Yeah, for sure. Michael said personal freedom is the goal. Freedom of self. Living in our core values gives us personal freedom. What is going on around us. That's and Jonathan suggests we should do a letter and then exchange them. I'm not exactly sure what he means by that. He means we should write ourselves a letter and then show it to people. I
mean it's just for you. I mean you can, but it's really just for you. In my opinion.
Brad said we have a tendency to self-sabotage with a dismissive attitude rather than an embracing attitude of self-love and worth. Without those compliments, we will be stuck in a spiral of negativity. Look in the mirror and embrace you. It's definitely true.
I love the mirror. I do a lot of mirror work too. Affirmations, mantras in front of the mirror. It's so powerful.
As my mother would say, Annie never walked by a mirror she didn't look in. Well, it's just true. I don't mind the mirror. But I need to talk. I need to have some of that exchanging, that self-talk stuff. Hi, Ramya. Great to see you. Oh, I love her. Taking the time to be ourselves and recharge and realign to our purposes, what truly matters, what's important. Oh, Brad, write it then. I have to write myself a letter, but I would love a letter from you. There are certain people that just write me the kindest things. And Hallie, I'm sure you've gotten, just feedback from your personality and being online and everything, and have people just be like, you're such a light, and it's very, it makes me blush, but it's very rewarding. And but what I've seen about you, just to tell you, is I've seen you evolve, where I've seen you rewrite that story a little bit over the time, and knowing you, where you have become less forcing yourself to be serious, you have come more into the shoes of your most authentic self. I've seen that. So just so you know, it's noticeable on the outside as well.
Thank you.
So if that's what you were trying to do, I can see that very clearly.
Well, it's embodying that true authentic self, right? And, one of the things that I was taught, and I really appreciate, and I'm glad that I did this, because I used time with a compliment. And two things often happen women when we get compliments. So one is we either deflect. So I'll just give you an example. Someone says, oh, your hair looks nice. And you say, oh gosh, no, it looks awful.
No, it doesn't.
I haven't brushed it, right? Okay. Tell me you haven't done that a million, right?
Totally.
That's number one. Or the other way that is, oh, Annie, your hair looks so pretty. No, your hair looks so pretty, right? So we don't.
Yeah, we don't take it in. We don't take it in
automatically. So we either deflect it or we automatically give it back, which there's nothing wrong with giving back a compliment, but you really need to take it in. So one of the best things that you can do when you're given a compliment is say, thank you, and I receive that.
Yes, I love that. I never say that, but I'm going to start saying that.
I love saying it. Like I receive, you just said to me that you see me becoming more authentic and showing up online in that authentic way. So I receive that. I receive it and I feel it in my heart. And that feels really good. So, just again, that little reframe and that little bit of change in the words, it's helpful.
Yeah, that tweak. It is amazing how you can just tweak one little thing in your way of thinking, in your perspective, and everything sort of changes after that. We're at the end of the show already, which is crazy.
What?
Yeah. Have you ever? But listen to me. I have to tell you something. I love you, girl. You're magical to me. Do you know how
oh my gosh. I love it.
No,
I
receive that. How, how Drew Barrymore says you're so magical. She's so magical. You're magical to me. You lifted me tonight. A couple of people in my life who knew I was going through it today really, really lifted me. And at the end of the day, what I really have to remember is I have to just lift myself. I have to lift myself out of it and get unstuck out of my head. And that has helped This has helped me a lot, just seeing your face and talking. And again, no offense to you, this was the last thing I wanted to do. Actually, like, host a podcast wasn't like, it just wasn't where I was in my headspace. I'm like, I'm going to blow it. I'm not going to know what to say. It's like all just narratives in your head, you know?
Right.
And then it ends up a half hour goes by like that. And you gave such good advice.
Well, but I was going to say too, that this was the perfect time, because look, we could come on here, we could do this thing that we both always do, right? We both get interviewed on podcasts all the time, weekly almost, right? So someone says to you, tell me your story. If anybody wants to hear my story, trust me, I can point you to, like, 4 dozen podcasts where I tell you my story, and they all pretty much sound the same, right? We can ask these questions that become formulaic, and then we end up saying pretty much the same thing, because that's kind of how it goes. This, to me, Annie, was like showing up as the real deal. Look, if we're in the world of coaching, of being consultants, of being people that are light workers, that are healing others, that are teaching other people, other humans, how to live their best freaking life, then let's get on and do the work. So here we did the work.
Yes, we did the work, girl. We're on top of the world. How do you guys feel? Everybody's thanks. Such great advice. I'm going to use that. I'm terrible at compliments. Yay. Look how you impacted people tonight. So that is all we have for tonight, everybody. Hallie, stay on. I'm going to say peace and thank you for always supporting me and being wonderful guys. I appreciate you showing up and just supporting me always in my endeavors. And I receive it. I receive it.
Receive.
Yes. So hold on one sec, Hallie. Guys, good night. It was super fun tonight. Thanks for being here. Girl, that really helped.